turning in, quarter turn, stepping, right up to your feet. I really like that, so I just want to second that. Also, outside step. Especially when guys are spiraling, a lot of guys are spiraling nowadays. I'm just gonna do outside step, knee slide. So I step, slide, step, that last step sets me in position, so he keeps pushing into me, I just step right back to my feet. It's super simple. It's basically that and changeover. I'll go to the changeover next that I use to get off the bottom. So spiral ride, I just take that outside step. Now my hips go underneath, my shoulders go back. So I step, slide, step, step, slide, step. And when I take that last step, I turn my hips and I put my hips in a position where I can now push, I can catch his weight, catch his pressure into me, and I just step back right to here. Okay? Guys, high school kids a lot of times will try to come here and open their hips up, and you know you don't have the kind of stability or the balance, you need to step up like this. When you turn here, you step right up. Okay, you're in a good position. So the trick is being able to throw your hips underneath, your shoulders back. It catches momentum. So make sure you have a strong back and strong neck so he doesn't pull you over. Some of these guys push hard with this spiral ride. They're pushing hard. I got to make sure I'm here and here. See, now everything's back into him. Another thing about bottom is don't really worry about hand control until you get to your feet. Mark Cody taught me that when I got to Nebraska. Because I see they get in those little, I try to grab wrist control, and he re-wrists me, now I'm in trouble. And the wrist rider on top wants you to start to play the hand control game on bottom, okay? So, I get to here, all I'm worried about is position. Get my elbow here, now I come to my feet, now I'm just right here. Boom. Get this hand down and away, keep this hand up. And I like to tell my guys all the time, chop hard, and if you get in the habit of bringing your hands to the mat, chop in and get away. Trevor talked about how you he said something different, but a lot of times guys will reshoot. You get lazy here. I just turn, he's going to drop and reshoot on me. So I want to make sure that my hips go down and away every time. Here to here, I walk my feet out, hips down and away. Here, boom. Now we're in the floor. So you can do that. Another thing too on that knee side stand up is I don't want to come all the way straight up and down on my feet. I worked hard to take that outside step, slide, step to here. Now, I wanted my hips down and away to score, right? So I want to keep them, for the most part, down and away when I come up. I come up to here, my hips are down and away. No need for me to come all the way up here and give him a chance to cinch me back up, okay? I'm here, he puts pressure into me, I just stand straight up, I stand up to here, hips down and away. Another thing you're gonna have to remind your guys about is, they get to this position here, and they kind of get anxious and happy. And they want to try to, they get to here, then they want to try to run away. Here, and they get cinched up. It's sort of counterintuitive for a lot of them, but it makes sense, makes practical sense to push back into him. All right, he's pushing into me. If I try to get up and run away, he's got my hips. Stay here, tell him to get a little gritty, push back into him, and there I'm fighting. You know, it's like when a guy tries to run you off the mat. You want to get to here, push back into him. If your feet are straight ahead, you have nothing to stop this guy. Get that one hip out, turn your foot here. So that's the knee slide, which I'm a huge fan of. The other thing I do is I change over. How many of you guys know what a change over is? So what I'm going to do, so I teach the changeover kind of like I teach my short sit. But I teach the short sit to here, to one hip, and then I go this way. But now when I do the changeover, I want to do the long sit to this opposite hip. I want to go here, and I want to cut to here. So if a guy has that same spiral ride on me, they call it a changeover because you change everything over. Here he's in great position, right? He's grinding on me, but if I come here and I change it over, he's got nothing now. Okay? The key on the changeover is my feet placement once I hit the mat. That foot I step with is going to come, that heel is going to come close to my butt. So I'm going to go here, here. I want that close. Sometimes guys, when they do that long sit, they like to get their hips so far away that they can get chin back, right? So that's why it's important to keep your hips underneath. On top, once we spiral. Okay, I take that outside step. Here, my hips are underneath. This hand over here, I put that on the mat as a post. I'm okay there. Okay? When guys get in trouble, they take that sit and they go here and here. Now I'm in trouble. So hips underneath the shoulders, and post that hand on the mat. Again, I'm not worried about hand control. Just watch what my opposite hand does, my outside hand does. I just want to get that elbow to my hip. So he's pressuring me here. Step. The same step that I did with my knee slide. Right there. Step. Change over to here. I'm just working here. Okay, now, a couple things. This is a great position to teach you guys how to chain wrestle from bottom. Because that's really about what bottom is having the stick-to-itiveness to get up. So, he's playing catch-up once I do my changeover, right? He had me beat on this side. He had me beat. So now I change over, I make him play catch-up. So now he tries to get his hips behind me. I take a step up, knee slide, step, back into it. So I'm just doing that knee slide on the other side of the body. That's it. I'm telling you, you can get your guys to do changeovers into knee slides. They'll be head and shoulders above their competition. So I'll show it slow and I'll break it down. He spiral rides me hard. I step, I change over, sit all the way to my opposite hip. Here. Now I change my weight over to here. Now he plays catch up and puts that pressure on me. I step in back position here for a minute. Slide, step, back pressure. So by yourself, it looks like this. He's got me heavy here. Get up. I want to come up, step, slide, step, back into it.
And you're not worried about hand control until the last second?
Last second. Okay, I'm just worried about elbow position. I want to worry about hand position too. I don't want my hands to be in here. Kind of hands that's always out, away from getting wristed. This is a really good drill for your guys. They can just maybe at the end of your warm-up, you just get your guys on the mat and you just get them right here. Both sides of the body, step and slide and step. Every time. So step, the important part is you step, you get your weight forward. Slide, when that last step you sort of close everything off, you turn your hip, push back up. Again, step, slide, step, boom. Right there, really great. So that's, in and of itself, the knee slide is great, but if you can get the changeover and the knee slide, and try to introduce it to them as what it means to chain wrestle from bottom, I think you'll do some good. So I'll show it to you one more time. He's spiral me hard, I change over, he still follows me, step, slide, step, boom. Right here. I'm up, I'm out. And remember, a lot of the guys are not going to get it right away. They got to step. When they come from here, don't run away. Step back into them. Keep that hip down and away. Cut. Right to there. The other thing I do from there, any questions on that? Just change over to the knee slide. Another thing I do from there is I like to teach my switch like that. Sort of you're doing your changeover. If the switch is there, you get it. I cut hard to that side. So I go here, and I change everything over to this hip. Here. Now, it's almost like I teach like a high crotch. Get your head inside, get your head tight to his ribs. Here, and I attack here. Okay? And this is worth going over how to finish that. I've seen some crazy switch, re-switch battles watching some high school wrestling, right? Because everyone's trying to get around it. I do my changeover, okay? And I cut hard with my elbow and my hip to here, and that leg is still there. I reach in here, guys, and I put my weight on them. Now, I get to here. Now I'm gonna reinforce this. I'm gonna take this guy to his far hip. Right across the body, here to here. Cut out all that monkey business of doing the switch and re-switch. Don't worry about sort of grinding behind it. Get to your position where you can score a high crotch. Here to here. I'm going to pull my hips up. I'm going to start like this so you guys can see it. Go from here to here, all the way to this hip. Right here is no good. Sit all the way down, hip to here. Now I'm grinding on him here. Use this to pull my hips up. Now I isolate this leg with this hand here. Now I go across the body, drive his hips to the mat.